This for me. Probably what I'm doing. Every day in the studio. Every day in the studio. Every day no fully shit. In the streets with the Yeezys on. In the streets with the hoodie up.
Hey!
No.
Games.
Actually, time out. You gotta sing the games.
Games.
There we go. There we go. That's why it's off. All right. Play.
No.
Games.
Podcast.
/ show.
We're back again. The boys are back.
Yes.
It's the three-peat.
Ooh.
Oh.
Ooh. It is the 3P. We gotta add that every time. Yeah, okay. It's the 3P.
Am I Dwayne Wade here?
You can be Dwayne Wade.
Hell yeah.
I'll take Chris Bosh. It's all right.
Wow. Really, guys?
I almost took Chris Bosh. Bro.
I'll be Pat Riley.
You don't want to be LeBron?
No.
You're the first person that doesn't want to be LeBron. And
But you know, LeBron kind of led the team, so
Pat Riley
I
put
got-
the team together.
I got a better big three. I'll be Paul Pierce.
who are you? KG?
He's like,
But they were
KG.
technically four because Ray Allen didn't just get booted out. He kind of hit some big shots. So
No, it's definitely Ray Allen. Rondo is not part of the big three. I'm
Are
sorry.
you
It's the
serious?
big
Wow.
three and the little one.
Are you kidding me?
Rondo was an integral part. Come on,
He was
man.
important, but he was not big three.
Are you kidding?
was.
Rondo was the original big three.
No.
Ray
the
Allen
original
was
big three that won the championship, Rondo was important, but Rondo was the little one.
No,
after the
absolutely
championship,
not.
then Rondo was much more important, probably more important than Ray Allen, and at some points maybe
I
Paul
think
Pierce.
if you take Rondo off that, actually, I'm not even gonna do that because if you take anyone off that championship team, they lose. In my opinion,
Absolutely.
But I even feel like Rondo was that young dog that I remember watching that. Like they needed, that's kind of tough for me. Man.
Kevin Durant.
you
or
put Eddie
Kevin
House in
Durant,
that role, they still win.
Kevin Garnett, hell no. Kevin Garnett literally said in the interview he did not want Rondo to be traded. That was literally the
I
interview.
don't know about that one, man. I don't know about that one.
That's a big four, fam. There ain't no big threes. That's a big four.
So, we have, we're going to calm this squabble down just for a little bit.
Absolutely.
Because this is our very first time that we're breaking up a show where we did a part one, and that was just me. And I'm pretty sure y'all all watched last week. So, coming back to the stage, drum roll please. We got Bradlee Returns. Go, do, become.
Hey.
He's coming to a stage near you.
Man, let them know.
Oh, your mic ain't on. They can't hear a word you saying.
All right, welcome.
We are
Man.
back.
Man.
We got Bradlee back on the
Glad you guys
show.
are here today.
Man.
Hell yeah.
This
So
is
Bradlee,
dope. Absolutely.
even though in hindsight, when I edit this, the people doesn't know this will be a week turnaround for them. This is going to be some time away. What has changed since you were on the show last week?
What has changed? Well, we have more rain in Portland today.
Damn right.
Absolutely. That's for the weather.
Switching careers. That's a good thing. Yeah. Subtle plug there, and really not much. Not much. The grind is still the same. Still kind of like in album mode for my brand, you could say.
That's dope. I like that. I like that reference. A lot of people. I like that reference. Yeah.
Just creating.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
as much
dope.
as possible to figure out what we're actually going to drop for the anniversary collection.
All right. Yeah. Well, before I give the baton off to, as you all know, our missing co-hosts, I pay them enough to be here, but last time, but we ain't gonna say nothing. But
He paid
really
you?
quick.
Oh.
But before we get going, one of the things that what we do at this show so much is we try to put you all on a higher vibration because everyone talks about when they get to these plateaus, what it took to get there. We're having you along that journey with us, like right now, of what it takes to, what the middle class people, what it takes to, be on top of your game. And before we switch it off of them, really quick, you talked about, making some career changes and things like that. Do you feel comfortable talking about that? What decisions did you make?
The career change, actually, speaking of just getting to a certain plateau, recently some career changes presented themselves. The company I was working for was acquired by another company, so we were laid off. This is the thing that happens with life. So I kind of been in the interview process with a few different companies.
Yeah.
I've gotten a few different offers, and we were talking about I turned a few of them down. It wasn't enough.
Yeah.
You know, you got to know your worth.
Absolutely.
I think there's a lot of empowerment and just like self-love and being able to say thanks but no thanks. So that's felt good. And then actually accepted a role with an airline. So I'm going to be flying full-time, not as
That's
a
super
pilot,
dope.
as a flight
Super
attendant.
Very cool.
Crazy career change, but gives me a ticket to the world, and I get to just focus on people and just being happy and spreading good vibes. It totally connects with like my spirit and just who I am.
Oh yeah.
And none of the corporate mumbo jumbo. So it's also, you know, better for my mental health, I guess you could say.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You hear that, Tawanda? He's
Man.
betting on himself.
Man.
You hear that? He's betting on himself. And I just wanted to share that nugget before I pass the baton to my lovely co-host. So whoever wants to take it.
I think that's great for you, Bradlee, because you're such a social butterfly. And I say that because the way we know each other is actually through a mutual friend.
Yes.
Yeah, we know. I knew Bradlee before this through a mutual friend from the other industry we worked in.
Portland is so small.
We're very small, and you're very much like a people person. So I totally see you going down, you know, that avenue, and totally makes sense in my books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually met you at Cotto, but I don't know if you remember me from being in the lobby that day.
No. Okay, so when I first saw you after that, well, which was like what now, a month ago when we saw each other again.
Probably about 2.5
We're
months ago.
We're at the Gosmer.
Yep.
At that point I did not realize that was you.
Yeah.
Even when you came to do the photo shoot for us, I did not realize that was you. Grace
Yeah.
had to tell me, and then I was like, oh my god.
Boom. I'd met you like
Yeah, I remembered you
6,
from when you
7
came to
months
do.
before that.
I remember when you came to do like the photo shoot for us.
Yep.
But I didn't put 2 and 2 together. You were the same guy that came and toured at that time, at the first time.
But you remembered me from
From the
coming
photo shoot,
to-
yeah.
Got it.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes.
Damn.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
That's a whole lot
all
of
connected.
interaction. Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Man,
No, yeah. It was just it was hilarious.
Grace is cool peeps.
Grace is great.
Yeah. She's shout out to Grace.
Shout out to Grace.
So I think my question stems from like, you know, I don't know Bradlee very well, but we had briefly tapped in and talked to each other about just like Portland and being a transplant and all that. Like, where are you from? How'd you get to Portland? Kind of give them a brief rundown on that.
Born and raised in Las Vegas. Moved to Portland 3 years ago. And yeah, it's been a beautiful experience. Portland has been extremely good to me. The people here are great. The interactions are so intimate, even in big social settings. Like, I feel like you can instantly go below the surface with most people. You know, in most situations. But yeah, I moved here with the things that would fit in my car, and took on a new role with my previous company, and social butterfly. Flew around the city.
There you go. Yeah.
Met some peeps. Yeah, and it's just opened one door after another.
That's dope.
Just keep pushing through. Yeah, it's networking is something that should not be taken for granted.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Being able to just take yourself out of your comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
I think on the last episode talked about social anxiety.
Yeah.
I actually struggle with social anxiety
Oh, yeah.
sometimes. And you wouldn't guess that from me being such a social butterfly, but I do.
Seriously.
And yeah, just putting yourself outside of that comfort zone is really where the magic starts to happen.
Oh yeah.
That's super dope. That's super dope.
Awesome. Let's see. Do you want to talk a little bit about your brand? Since we're kind of doing a wrap up of what we talked about a little bit before, putting
Absolutely.
it together. Yeah. So beforehand, we had talked a little bit about like where the idea for Go Do Become came from. You had a really great story. If you wanted to share it, I think really kind of enlighten a little bit about what the brand really stands for.
Oh, absolutely. It's near and dear to my heart because it comes from my grandparents. When I was when I was younger, like 18 to like 25, my grandparents would come visit me in Vegas, and they would stay for my grandma rather. She would leave notes on the refrigerator when she would leave in the morning, and she would always sign the notes, "Go, do, become." And I was kind of different years she would pop in. Some years I was up, I was doing my thing. Certain years she would come visit, and she could tell maybe like I was in a little rut. So her notes always varied. I kept a few of them, and you'll see them in the brand as the brand and the story unfolds. But yeah, it comes from them. She would always say, my grandfather would tell my aunts and uncles, just go, do, and become great. He was like big shoes to fill. He was one of the founders for a rehab all around the U.S. called West Care. He was one of the pillars in Job Corps. Not one of the founders, but one of the first directors of Job Corps.
That's dope. Super
He's
dope.
been a park ranger. He was a police officer.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was just a man of the people. So he was always about the people. He's always helping someone. He was always starting a new project around the house growing up. Yeah, my grandparents raised me. Both my parents were in and out of the home growing up. So yeah, comes from my grandparents.
Awesome. I love that. Yeah.
Do you feel like you have to carry on like a tradition when it comes to like growing this brand, or does it have to stay like in these refinements because of what this impact made to you?
I struggled with that actually when I decided to name the brand Go Do Become, just because it is such an influential, impactful phrase.
Yeah.
You know, it holds a lot of weight, and you know, like generationally, like just in my spirit, as well as how people perceive it. So I did in the beginning. The brand is pretty sassy. You know, the hoodies, deposit season, you know, I can't hear you without the deposit, no salary cap. It can come off arrogant, but it's really about choosing yourself, self-love, knowing your worth. The deposit doesn't have to be money. It could be energy, just making sure like things feel right. Like I can't hear you, you know, without those things that, you know, you stand on. And the brand is pretty sassy, and it's going to get more eclectic and more me as I grow and I evolve as a creative. But it'll always be the Go Do Become brand for, you know, my grandparents and like where that came from. But I don't feel like I have to stay on brand with like the phrase.
Of course.
You know, it's just the name of the brand. But I feel like my designs and how I create and how I express myself, is just going to be for me.
Of course. Because it's your own brand at the end of the day.
That's right.
Do whatever the hell you want.
Man,
That's right.
man. Sorry, I keep jumping in with these questions and stuff. My other question to that is, did the creativity start from home, or did you like get here and was like, oh shit, let me create? Like,
Good question. I actually created the brand in 2016.
Okay.
I went to a fashion incubator in Vegas, put on by Zappos and Tony Shea, the late great Tony Shea, and it was called Stitch Factory. It was a 9-week fashion course, pattern making, fashion history.
That's dope.
They took us to the Magic Show convention. It's a huge fashion convention in Vegas, and you know, just got to learn about fashion. That's when I actually started the brand. It was like a final project.
Oh wow.
For the incubator, and I kind of let the company buy my dreams, and that's why I pushed out the no salary cap. When I came up with that design, I was just thinking like, damn, I did it again. I took a promotion or a raise, and you know, I'm not really focusing on my passion or, you know, things that spark joy in my life. So yeah, 2016 is when it started. I kind of kept progressing in my career. And then when I moved here and I saw, you know, just the people here, how open and accepting and like collaborative they were, that's really when I'm like, you know, it feels right to launch it again. And just through networking and meeting people, shout out to Capital Bar. I actually used to live next to the owner of Capital. Shout out to Kevin. And
You can just say it. He here.
He's
right
in the
there.
audience.
We ain't got enough budget to do a camera panel.
in the building.
It's in the budget next year.
This is the budget
Camera
next year.
panel.
That's so
And-
funny.
Yeah, he allowed me to do my launch party at Capital Bar, and just like it was just from creating it last summer, 2020, August 2020, to launching it November 2020. It was just magical. Like all the people I connected with, and the photo shoots that we put on, and meeting people all over the city that was willing to share insight, whether it was through photography or willing to like share a model for you, or give me tips on what they've seen with other brands. To Kev being like, I don't mind if you do your launch party at my bar. Yeah, sure. Pick a day,
Damn.
So like I said, Portland's been extremely good to me
Damn.
in that fashion that like, you just put out good vibes and good vibes come back to you.
Yeah. I respect
Hell
that.
yeah. Hell yeah. So you talked a little bit about Portland, impact of Portland. You've been here for 3 years, right?
3 years in December.
In December, nice. So as someone who's, not a local like everyone else here, kind of where do you kind of see Portland going? You see it continuing to grow? Does it still have that like charm in your eyes, or has that worn off a little bit?
Oh no, it's like an untapped gem.
Still? Do you?
Still.
Okay.
There's so much more. Sometimes I find myself on, all the time, new routes, new roads, new ways to get, across the bridge, or there's so much beauty here. Like the city itself is art in my eyes. So as like an artist, a creative, a designer, I just feel like there's so much that's untapped. And then with the people, you got the big, huge hubs here, like Nike, Adidas, Under Armour, tech side, Intel, and whatnot. They have their own brands, but they bring in, kind of like, they recruit some of the top talent around the world.
They really do.
Around the country. And although those people are tied to these brands, so there's certain things that they can do and certain things they can't.
Yeah.
When they decide to separate from these companies and do their own things, like they're like ready and eager and hungry and ready to create.
Definitely.
So they want to collaborate with the locals, and they have all this big, huge corporate experience. On top, they're just like dope creatives themselves. So I can really see Portland taking off just as the years progress.
Yeah.
And I didn't even think about that, right? Like you got all these major brands, Nike, Columbia, whatever, list goes on. And at the end of the day, they all don't last there forever, right? Like, and so it's like you're saying, once they leave those places, they do go tap in with some local people and give them the game and be like, look, this how we're gonna help you grow, how you make it bigger. And I think that's what makes that creative side so interesting.
Absolutely.
And it's like then you have new creatives rolling into these new companies and maybe leaving or trading, because Nike and Adidas always trade designers. It's mind blowing to me, but they always do.
Yeah, and they have their own, hustles on the side. Most of them
always.
They don't like, they work for a shoe brand. They can't like, oh, okay, I'm gonna make my own shoes, but they still create.
Yeah.
If that's in you, it's in you.
Oh yeah.
So they're still in the art communities. They're still invested in all things creative in Portland, and they'll come support even if they aren't willing to collaborate at that time, or they're not pushing out their own work or whatever the case is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Great example of that, Mr. Brett.
Oh yeah, Brett Brown.
Brett Brown, the legend Brett Brown. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a 3D designer at Nike. Really great photographer. Amazing photographer.
Yeah, he does great stuff. I know Brett.
Oh, you know Brett? Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, and once again, you
Shout out
guys.
to Brett.
Shout out to Brett.
Shout out to Brett.
Shout out to Brett. He was
shout
on a
outs.
past
Shout
episode,
outs,
and
man.
one of the things that he definitely talked about is what's your work identity out of work. And
Yeah.
I know, at least in the line of like therapy, I spend a lot of time talking with people about like your work is not
You.
like you are like you have an identity outside of your work, and if once you marry your work identity to you, the company can do anything they want, because when you go out, you're like, yeah, I work for Alaska Airlines, and they're like, tell me what you like. Well, I like peanuts and sodas, and they're like, oh, my work identity, all that. It's always in Brit. Brit was always
Nice.
We have an audience today, but Brit reminded us that you gotta be
Who
and
you
have
are.
something more,
Yep.
and you're not just your job. And that's literally, the guests and the people that we got to have on here, because so many people have this hurt mentality of like, oh, once I get to this place that I'm going to be the shit. No, you know how many great people we follow have been calling themselves the GOAT or the great before other people acknowledge them. And my thing is, you may not get that fame or whatever you're trying to get, but like if in your heart of hearts that you know that you belong somewhere and you act like it, more people are going to be like, all right, it's like when you go to Vegas, act like you're supposed to be in here, and then you ain't gonna get kicked out of VIP. Act like you belong in there. And once you have that mentality, so many different things, will blossom and come. But I ain't gonna go down that rabbit hole because I can feel it brewing up in my soul. But I just want to, make sure we're doing our due diligence with the guys, because obviously I had my part one to shine. Was there anything else? Before.
Oh yeah, no, I tapped in. I tapped out.
in?
Yeah,
Anything
tapped
else?
in.
Absolutely.
Kasyan.
Great questions.
Last question. People from Vegas versus people from Portland.
Ooh.
How do they compare?
Ooh, tough
Um,
cookie.
I think people
We
from
watching.
Vegas move quicker.
Absolutely.
I've had friends tell me I move too quick.
I need
sometimes you have to slow down, and I can reflect on that. Portland is like a very calm place.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if you think about like a spot, well, in general,
As of recently,
okay,
people was wild.
let's take the people out of the city
Okay.
and then look at the city without anybody in it.
Mm.
It's green.
Yeah.
There's water.
Gray.
It's
calm.
beautiful.
It's calm.
You take a spa.
Rain.
A spa, what does a spa have? The elements. There's a waterfall. There's trees in there. There's
Sound of
eucalyptus
rain.
You
plants.
just described some I Am Legend, Planet of the Apes, like the humans is gone.
I mean, like, try to imagine a city with no people in it. Like, really, it's a calm place.
Yeah,
can go,
no, you real.
So many different take a walk by the river.
Facts.
That's calming. So
Yeah.
I feel like you don't have to move that quick here, and people. So that's my thing.
Yeah.
People in Portland move slower, and it's not a bad thing.
I think it's just a West Coast thing in general.
Yeah. I mean, West Coast compared to. Oh, okay. West Coast compared to, East Coast.
Oh yeah.
There's still different speeds there.
Absolutely.
But the people, and then there's the superficial aspect. Vegas is like LA's backyard.
Yeah.
So, people, play off of that LA vibe, that Southern California vibe. Vegas is a very new city also.
Oh yeah.
Portland has buildings that are over 100 years old. In Vegas, there's not a building that's probably not a building that's over 50 years old. It's been demolished and rebuilt by now.
Oh yeah.
It's a very new city. So we're used to new construction, new development, new everything, new shopping centers. When you look at the city, it's just new.
Yeah.
It's aesthetically
To
new.
appease the mass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you got the Strip. I haven't even tapped on to the huge casinos and those $1 billion, $1 trillion cash machines down there with, the glitz and the glam. So there's more pressure to be more aesthetically pleasing.
Of course.
Whereas in Portland, you can almost show up to your hottest club wearing a Nike sweatsuit and it's going to be very normal.
Absolutely.
That's a flag on the play. I'll tell you that right now. It's a flag on the play.
Almost. I mean,
Don't act like you haven't seen people do that.
Oh no, I've seen them.
Yeah.
Am I like them? No.
No. Yeah, I think
But
we all like to look nice.
But I also think it goes back to his point with the style of clubs we have here comparative to Vegas, right? Like if you're going out in Vegas, you're going out in Vegas, right?
Oh, yeah.
Here it's like you going out, but what you really gonna see, right? You see a lot of the same things. It's almost like going to a college party compared to a high school party, right? Like it's like at a college party, you're gonna see a lot more than you do at like a high school party. It's like it's weird. Like it's hard to explain. Portland, going back to that smaller sense of style, like that calmingness. It's not like a rowdy city. It's not an upbeat, up-tempo city. So it's not a lot pumping when it comes into that night scene here, right? So it's like when you see that all the time, like that Nike the sweatsuit, you see it, and you're like, for real. But then you're like, it's Portland, right? Like it's
very normal.
It's very normal.
The hub is here, so it's also just like intertwined into the city.
Yeah,
this is their city. It's world headquarters. It's right outside of Portland. So it makes sense, but in general, it's relaxed in many fashions.
All right.
Oh yeah.
We're actually going to do this commercial earlier. And Robert.
Bradlee Ainsworth, and I am the founder and creative director of Go to Become, luxury fashion brand. You can follow us at go.do.become. And I'll be sure to follow back. We got some new stuff dropping next month. And thanks for following.
That's fun. Game show is expanding. Our team is expanding. And you know what helps? Because we added one. You adding just one like to this video, adding one like to the subscribe button, that would help us grow, because the nutrients we are dropping are delicioso. And no, I did not get that from Dora the Explorer.
Yum, yum, yum.
Thank you. I love my team. Anyway, at this time, OnlyFans is still thriving. Wow. And they are donating to those working women. And we are hardworking men.
Ka-ching.
Exactly. So if you could donate $ Hero Bob
Ka-ching.
to my Cash App, no, all the money you put in will go to all these great sound effects.
Ka-ching.
And then things like, how dare you? We'll play those sounds when people are talking if we have more money.
Ka-ching.
Add
all
to
that,
the budget. This is all.
We got to add to the budget. So with all that being said, if you follow the Play No Games podcast show on YouTube, or you can follow some of our clips at lookhere.fri on Instagram, which has some of our dating game show stuff that we will be revealing and dropping. You can really help out the show, because don't you want to ride the wave before other people say like, hey, we know about the Play No Games podcast show. You could be one of the cool hipsters. So anywho, this is actually my top worst promo. It's because all of you, Kyle, I'm really the going at these things. Huh? Oh, you lying.
No, he's normally very good at these.
because I be spitting off the top of my dome. See, Johnny and Franklin, they can do some rapping. I just put stuff together. But anywho.
Oh, my
All right,
gosh.
Robert, we're going to cut a good amount of that. Anyway. All right. We're back. So it's time for talk about things that'll get us canceled.
Okay.
Cos.
Yeah.
You're talking about some things, right? That you wanted to talk to the group about?
Ask Bradlee about?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So Bradlee, as some people may know, you are a member
Whoa.
What?
We don't out our friends. You gotta ask permission and consent.
May I say it?
Am I a homo?
That's not what I was gonna say. That's not what I was gonna say. But that was good. That was fun.
We are going to talk about some LGBTQ AI plus things. As you guys know, on the Play No Games podcast, we talk about
everything.
Relationships.
We play no games around here,
dating,
man.
All that.
Play no games.
And yeah, I think this is the first time you guys have had like an openly gay black male on your podcast. So that's what all these heterosexual males were dancing around, and it's perfectly fine to let's go for it.
All right. So as a member of the gay community in Portland, can you kind of speak a little bit about that? What that community is kind of like? I have a friend in the community as well. They said everyone kind of knows everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Do you kind of agree with that?
I'm not really involved in the gay community,
Okay.
actually.
Okay.
I've been to a handful of gay bars here, a handful of times. And I will say that it's there
Yeah.
for like, for us. Portland is a very gay-friendly city. You know, you drive down any street, there's gay flags in the
Driveway.
in the driveway, on the houses. Like, I mean, it's like a mini spin-off to San Francisco, I would imagine. And but for me personally, I think that dating here has been better than it was back home, kind of tying back to like that superficial and like pretentious kind of aesthetic in Las Vegas versus Portland just being more accepting in general. I've definitely been on quite a few dates that, it's good vibes and cool peeps. Just not my thing yet. I haven't found the one, I guess.
Totally.
But I'm also so busy with like my career and my passions and as a creative, and I'm just not focused on dating, you could say.
Totally.
Yeah. So
as love has no gender, love has no sexuality, love has, it's just love. It's just a big heart. So one of the things that I kind of want to talk about is not just in like love, when people just are from like different areas or different spectrums or whatever, people always have, and this is one of the things that kind of like bothered me. It was more so like a more racial thing where they have like, I have this black friend, and we've talked about this like off camera where like we've talked and you're like, people are like, we talk about having that gay friend,
right,
and like
right.
how people like tokenize friendships where I'm like, you're just Bradlee. I don't care what you do. You do what you do. Like,
right.
So like, how do you, when it comes to like talking with, identifying with your community and talking with people in the sense of like, oh, they're tokenizing me because I have this sexuality. Like, how do you navigate and go through those things?
I use it to my advantage.
To
be honest. You talk about privilege, like especially in today's world, white privilege, I believe that gays also have a privilege in a certain respect. And some would like debate this, which is fine, different opinions. For me, as a black man, we already have a certain view in society as a whole, things that we're fighting towards, things we saw last year, this year, the BLM movements, all that, this, that, and the third. I mean, it's no secret what we're fighting for as black men on a day-to-day basis. Just, equality in general. But as a gay man, I feel like that allows me access to more spaces.
I was just about to.
Because, right, black men can be viewed as aggressive, overly masculine. And this is like, the debate between like, my straight like friends and brothers that like we have this debate like they shouldn't demasculate the black man. Well, that's a rabbit hole I'm not going to get into, but I will say that I don't think that they're wrong in certain aspects with different industries pushing different things on our community. I will say that I definitely feel like people automatically view me as a non-threat and as accepting. Even when I like get pulled over by a police officer, if I'm just a little bit more feminine or like the cop knows I'm gay, I've literally been let out of tickets.
That's crazy.
And then switching it to business, like, I mean, I have a pretty white name, you could say. My name is Bradlee Returns. But even once I get into interviews, no, we don't talk about my sexual orientation. But when people can tell that I'm, gay, I feel like instantly like walls are let down and they're just like, I can just talk to you about anything. And if it's the women, it's like, oh, we're going to talk about fashion and we're going to go, into detail, and we can talk about relationships, and they can tell me all about their husband. And then, with men, it's like, I got this one girl, and maybe you might have some advice for me on, it's just like, I just play into it, to a certain extent, I'm not a puppet, but I've just accepted the tokenism at certain times.
Yeah.
That's so.
I'll take it.
For me, it's so like dumbfounding because I would never even like put that in perspective of like being able to take advantage of situations because of sexual orientation, right? But when you begin to talk about gayness and as a whiteness, almost right, it allows people to pass, and it's like, damn, like hearing the witness to that sociology aspect of it is like it throws me for a loop. Like it throws me for a serious loop. That's crazy. But it's dope for you. Like it's dope, super dope. But
I
it's crazy.
debated whether I was going to speak on it or not because I don't know how it's viewed. And, I kind of played it back and like sat and put myself in other people's shoes.
Yeah.
Like, this guy, but at the end of the day, however I'm viewed, it doesn't matter. I'm being authentic.
Yeah.
It's just the truth.
Yeah.
And I feel like, I can't speak for any other gay men, but it's very common in the gay community that like you can kind of play on it a little bit to a certain extent.
Interesting.
I would just like to state, I asked all my friends if they got beautiful women that I could talk to. So when I asked you where the hell was that, it wasn't. I was not tokenizing you. There ain't no, because I was really looking for the respectful women I could bring back to you, Tangela, because I want to make you a grandmother. Anywho, so I just want that to be stated, Bradlee.
Okay. All right.
But no, like
I'll take it. Yeah.
Me and him, like so many times, we've talked about like that feminine and masculine energy and things like that.
Yeah.
And once again, you can stop me, and obviously I can cut this out. You know what I'm saying? Wink, wink. If we want to, we kind of talked about masculine and feminine energy, and I remember one time we were kicking it, and I was like, I feel like you're being extra broy with me. I was like, remember?
Probably so.
I was
Probably
like,
in the beginning of our friendship.
yeah, and I was like, just be Bradlee. Like I'm kicking it with Bradlee, and and that's when that's like, cause like me and Koss like had our moment. I'm not gonna bring up that moment where we had to have like a talk. The N word. We were talking.
Whoa, no. He's making this up. He's making this up.
I ain't making that up. I ain't making it up.
Oh my.
But no, like
He does this every other episode where he makes me out to be some racist.
we gotta get the views. No, Koss is my little brother. If y'all come for him, I'm coming for y'all. I love him. He did not say that. I was like fucking with him. Anywho, no, we were kind of like talking about our differences, and like that's when I was like, Bradlee, me and him are like gonna be hella cool. We're like, you were like, nah, Rob, like that, like you were like not in a way like checking me. You were like, nah, this is like how I am, and we kind of just called that energy into the room, and it's kind of like that's why I kind of wanted to bring that out to have that conversation with you. And just like anyone like who comes on the show when it talks about like the differences, like everyone's like, oh, this and this and this, bro, you're different. Like you walk and bring in what Arthur was saying is you bring in a whole different aspect of way of life that you live, and like of course there's gonna be certain privileges that people get, and like obviously, you're like, oh, but it's a difference when you acknowledge those things. So I appreciate you talking about like the things that. And aspects that you get when it comes like the metrics. I'm pretty sure there's a ton of like heterosexual dudes who watch this show, and it's kind of like, are you really like taking it in the aspect, or are you on that Boosie's thing where he's kind of like are just being ridiculous for no reason? You know what I'm saying? Right. Because like, are you hearing these people? Are you hearing these people out? Because I want to make a space comfortable for just about anyone. But so I just appreciate that. So
yeah.
Super dope, man.
I feel like, I'm always myself, and whether I'm talking to someone who is super masculine or someone who's super feminine, I have both energies inside me, like a Gemini. So, or yin and yang, they're just there.
sorry.
They're just there.
We've talked about astrology. We've talked about this.
Yeah, not your favorite sign. Okay, shout out to all the Leos out there.
Whoa, whoa.
Okay, Aquarius is too.
Thank you.
So I'll take it. I'll be straight up. So when it comes to, because we talked about relationships here and things like that. When it comes to like dating, like how is it when it's dating, finding that guy? You're like, all right. Obviously, the foundational, like you want to find someone, you want to start a family, but like us dating is like, out in the open. I'm going Capital. Dapping up my people. I'm in the corner like, what's up? Who's she? And that's so openly accepted.
Right.
For me to be like, all right, let me go over there, say what's up to her. Like, when you go into like spaces that we deem like normal and things like that, how do you move through the crowd to talk to that guy or figure out if that guy's interested? Do you feel like, from what I hear from other people who identify as lesbian, gay, or anything like that, I feel like it's very like hush hush or behind the scenes type of thing. How was that for you?
I'm pretty aggressive, you could say.
Oh,
so if I'm into someone, regardless of their sexual orientation, I typically will make it known. Will I make it known like right there on the dance floor, like, I'm vibing with you? No, but I will definitely engage, and I'm definitely going to flirt. And then usually like the conversation comes after, like, yeah, I'm into you. And that's when I'll find out like, hey, by the way, I'm straight, or, oh, okay, cool. I'm into you too. I don't really, like I was saying, I don't really go to like gay bars or, I have been to a few gay strip clubs, on wild nights, but, I want to go to like normal bars with normal, not normal. That's a bad way to say it, but I go to
Regular, just
bars that are not specific for one orientation.
There you go. There you go.
Like, no, that we're not talking about. No,
like you said,
we were talking about a strip club.
Oh yeah.
We moved from that.
Oh.
And I said, when I'm going on, not a hunt, but it just happens. Like, I'm in a non-binary bar, I guess. That's how you would say it. There could be gay people in there. There could be trans people in there. There could be straight people in there, whatever the case is. But I don't typically feel like, what, tonight I'm going to go to a gay bar or a gay lounge and I'm going to, find someone to like, engage with and go on a date. I might have more luck if I did, but I don't. So I shoot my shot any and everywhere.
So you're not going out trying to get a free drink, right? You're not going to like CC Slaughters, being like, who's going to get me a drink tonight?
No. I'm way past the free drink thing.
All right, good.
But I like that metaphor. No, I'm definitely not. But I have been to CC Slaughters.
I think they closed down, didn't they?
And it was a good time. There's go-go dancers everywhere.
It is a
like
nice
your
bar.
Typical gay bar.
It is a fun place.
Yeah.
It is a fun place.
So wild time.
You got something? So I didn't think I was actually going to share this. I didn't think I was actually going to share this on a podcast. But you know what? I think I'm going to share this on a podcast. So I was in Mexico City.
Oh, shit.
The audience is wild. I was in Mexico City with my ex-girlfriend, right? And we...
Yeah.
Yeah, with my ex-girlfriend. Yeah. Ex-girl... I mean...
Wow.
Anywho, a person that I am... And wow, people don't...
Wait, just tell the
Anywho.
story.
Yeah. Okay.
So on our last night, they were all like, we gotta go to the club, and like in my mind, like I'm like, we going to the club, but like they let me know like, oh, it's like gay club, and I was like, cool, whatever. And I was like, we're gonna vibe, we're gonna have fun, right? So when I get there, when I tell you this place, when I say this place is jumping, these niggas, it's jumping, it's four levels, right? At the
Oh,
top,
shit.
it's like a drag show, and then each like level is like hip hop, reggaeton, all that other stuff, right? So like we start at the top. I'm like, all right, drag show, cool, whatever. Woo, woo, woo. Drop down. So now we in the hip hop stage, and like now I'm down there on the first level. I'm with my girl, with her family, and things like that. So I'm dancing on her. So I'm bricked up. So I'm like, yeah, I am bricked up. She is throwing it back. So, anywho, let me tell y'all this story, because this is gonna lead into a question for you, Bradlee. It's like this guy, right? This guy. So like after like my girl, her family go to get drinks. So like I'm standing, right? And like he comes and like he like grabs my shoulder blade, and like I turn around and I'm like, and like there's a lot of people, so I don't see like he's like it was him. So it's like 3 people, right? So I turn back around, and then he comes. And like, I'm not gonna lie, I can't believe I'm saying this. He like kisses like my neck. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I was like upset that like he kissed my, like it was like right here. It was like in between my clavicle, and like I gave him a little shove. I was like, stop. I'm not interested. And then my girl stuff comes back and things like that. I just want to at least just say for me, like. I've had like other people, other orientations being like, oh, I'm interested in you. But like, I've always been like, cool, calm down. Where it's kind of like, I didn't get like full, like I'm about to fight this person or upset. But I was just upset that he, like his lips touched like without no consent. So I guess my question, you know, cause I want to, you know, make everyone laugh just a little bit, is when you run into people who are maybe not gay or anything like that, do you find a lot of heterosexual men are aggressive when they're like, oh, why'd you insinuate, or why would you think I am that?
Not at all in today's
Really? Okay.
time.
Just
I
Robert.
would- yeah,
He
maybe-
kissed my neck. I was like, no.
You're in his house.
I would say, yeah. I would say
in his house.
there was a lot of context leading to he might have gotten lucky, and maybe he didn't want to waste time. You know,
He didn't.
You know, hot American man in his Latin establishment.
Hey man,
I mean, he had to-
it's the same thing when they say, you know, when you get bit by a shark in the water, it's their territory.
Yeah.
I will say,
This
I
guy.
definitely offer unsolicited flirting. You know, I'll go back to like I said, I'll flirt, right? And then typically there's a conversation, and I believe the people I surround myself with are just experienced and mature enough to be like, you know, respectful, like, oh, you know, I'm flattered almost, but you know, I'm definitely straight, or you know, or the conversation goes differently, and you know, we let the whining and dining begin.
Oh, shit.
Damn.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, he's
We're
single.
gonna drink.
There you
Yeah.
go. Pass the drink.
Yeah, I like dinner with a view,
That's dope.
helicopter rides, long walks on the beach across state lines.
Damn.
Let them know.
There's
Let them
no
know.
beaches in this state that I
And y'all know right now.
yeah wouldn't want to.
He want to get flown out.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
No, see.
That's that Vegas coming back, right? That's that Vegas coming back, right?
Vegas is definitely in there. Yeah, for sure.
That's that Vegas coming back. There it is.
Yeah.
He said, you know, Portland's calm, but you know, I still got that Vegas.
Take it up a few notches. We need
That's
to.
so funny. Because I've also heard that too, like from the perspective of like some guys are like offended when other guys think they're like attractive, but it's like on the flip side of that, it's like take pride in that, right? Because it means like you're attractive across all boundaries, right? Like, and so I think that's a good point that you bring up. It's like sometimes you can't attack somebody because of how they feel towards you. It's just like a man or a woman, right? Like if you go to a woman like you're beautiful and she slaps you, I mean that's her. But at the end of the day, why don't you? She might most likely accept that a compliment, like thank you. It's the same thing if a man comes with you like, man, you're beautiful. Like accept that compliment. It's a compliment.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Like I think we get construed and like, man, fuck you, like out the gate, and it's like,
because unfortunately, there's a lot of men out there that will face society as heterosexual, and they definitely have, other desires, right? That they might not be comfortable
I get
with.
where you're going. Okay.
You know, like not saying like they're DL, but they might even be full bisexual, but that's just not how they're like. They're not walking around with a label, right? So, and then there's also obviously there's men that you very much know, like he's straight. This is a heterosexual male. Like, I'm not just out here shooting like from the half court line, like on a consistent basis. Like,
Let me tell you what I'll be doing on Friday, Saturday night.
No,
I'll be like, ooh, a freakum dress.
I have a pretty good gaydar.
Ball up.
One, I have a pretty good gaydar. One, and then two, it's like the unsolicited flirtation comes when, there's different, social cues. I feel like I'm pretty socially intelligent or, emotionally intelligent human when it comes to that. So I feel like I can pick up and read who I'm dealing with pretty well. Yeah.
I'll say this. I think the world would be a better place if men got more compliments once in a while. Like, what was the last time like a girl came up to you and said, "Hey, Arthur, you're a pretty guy."
last week.
I love my people. This is why this show is the
It happens often.
I actually got some compliments from a woman. She called me handsome.
I actually, a couple weeks ago, got called handsome by a drive-thru worker. Best night of my life.
with that mustache?
This is for a Halloween costume. the beard will be back. This is for a Halloween costume. The goatee. Yeah. I digress.
I love this kid.
Who are you going to be for Halloween?
Brooks Koepka.
Brooks Koepka.
He is a professional golfer. There's a meme about him. I'm going to recreate the meme.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Bradley?
Get all my golf attire.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, I'm done.
Bradley? Why are we doing this? We have company. Anyway, Bradley, when's the last time you got a compliment?
I get compliments every day.
Wow.
Fair enough. Well, I mean the compliment of like, yeah, hey, sexy. That kind of compliment.
Also last week.
Damn.
Yeah.
All right. We all here getting it recognized. Look at us.
Yeah,
Shout out to my barber.
So, as we get out of the less countable lane, anywho, Bradley, appreciate. Now, this is what we're all here for. The good things that make us grow. My things about I care about. So, what do you call it? So, this topic, I was actually listening to a podcast, and I thought it was really good, and I was thinking about all of us because all three of y'all have really good perspective when it comes to, awareness, when it comes to love, respect, and all that good stuff. And we'll end the show with this topic. This is from this European therapist, psychologist. She's like one of the GOATs. I appreciate her. Her name is Esther Perel. And
The GOAT.
she is
Therapy.
She's one of them. Because she's very open-minded when it comes to a lot of different things and not just so bookish. And she talked about this one point on the podcast, talking about how in this day and age, we expect everything and we put all this pressure on our partners to be that soulmate and that one. And we have to find different people in our lives to separate that so we can give our partners a break so we can just be in the relationship, because we request our partner to be, our confidant, our sexual, full desires, the person you talk to after you have a bad day at work, all those, various different things where we put all that on one person. And as we know, that's just a lot. I'll just keep going. So when it comes to that, how do you guys feel about in this day and age we put everything on that one person to be our soulmate, to be everything for us?
Bradlee, you want to go first?
I need you to repeat the question.
So
I
Brad,
thought we had another visitor when I heard the door.
so Esther Perel, she talked about on our podcast about how we put all of our desires, wants, and expectations on our soulmate. Do you feel that in this day and age that is the most appropriate thing to do when it comes to, building a successful partnership? Can your person be everything?
I just want it one more time. I was distracted by the audience, but I've picked up the context clues at this point.
Do you think it's fair that your partner should be everything for you? Emotional support, anything else Esther Pearl talked about?
You're perfect.
You're
You're beautiful.
Thank you. Like you can come to them for everything.
No, I don't. I feel like you should be so in love, for me, and maybe it's just my sign.
Leo.
Shout out to the Leos.
Let them know.
There we go. You should be so in love with yourself by the time you merge with somebody else that, the self-love is already there. So, I mean, in what capacity, it's, I feel like it's subjective, and it's like relative, like desires, like sexually, like therapeutic, like there's a therapist for that.
Yeah.
Like your spouse, I wouldn't expect my spouse to be my therapist, because then at that point the relationship becomes like, okay, he's here to fix me, or like, I believe there's a fine balance. Like I should be able to, come from home from work or whatever the case is, and like today was shitty, and be able to like talk through it, or see like, I would have done something this way or whatever the case is, and we can kind of soundboard and be there for each other, but not just perfect in that aspect to like a therapist. You can build with someone. I'm very much, I guess, is that kind of like the question? Like,
Yeah.
I don't expect to walk into a room and find, I mean, there's so many celebrity crushes. I was going to try to like plug one, but I'll just say like a Drake, like, in my eyes, like super attractive, like very fit, like, clutch with the wordplay, like just suave, all those things, like total package, I guess you could say.
Okay.
Drake's the type of guy.
A hint of toxic, just all the things that you would want, when it comes to making.
This is why we can't have nice things. Yeah, I want my nigga gotta be toxic. Yeah, why?
Like,
why you gotta be
I
toxic?
mean, it's just the music. I'm just saying.
Yeah, this is why people come in my office. Yeah, he's got to be dangerous. He's got to rob a bank, and he's got to have a 9-to-5. Huh? So he's got to be a criminal and have a 401k plan? What's wrong with you? You don't work like that.
Yeah, I don't. Shortly, I'll just say no. I don't think that your person is supposed to be perfect, because I don't think that anything is perfect. Yeah, I can. You can find the beauty in everything. I think that's like a glass half full mentality.
Yeah, definitely.
Or you can look at it as half empty. Something's always missing. Something's always wrong. So it's like a fine line between like optimism and just being like a pessimistic human. And I'm definitely like attracted to more half full kind of people.
Yeah.
And I'm a half full kind of guy. So I'm like, I don't expect my person, wherever you are, to be perfect.
Whoa.
So wink for the camera. Did you catch that?
I got that. That was great.
Yeah.
I guess I can speak on this. I'm no therapist here, as Robert may tell you. But I feel like
You give damn good advice.
But I feel like in today's world, people are too codependent on their partner. And I feel like that leads to a very negative relationship because then you're always needing that person if you're so codependent. So then that's why like breakups are so nasty. And then when it's so nasty, you don't really want to get back on the horse, right? So I feel like in today's society, people are just, they're putting too much pressure on their partner. And I think they're putting too much pressure on the dating scene afterwards too, to be like, whoa, I'll never find that again. Well, you got to let it build. You got to give it opportunity. You got to do this and that. You got to work towards it. But that's my kind of 2 cents on that. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So I'll tap in, and I kind of say it's like both, right? Like with your partner, you got to have at least some expectations of perfection or some sense of why you got with your partner, right? Like, I love this about my partner. It's perfect, right? So there's hints of it, but you can't expect every attribute in that partner to be perfect, right? So in that process of like, my partner has what I'm missing, this is what makes it perfect, right? And so for me, in my opinion, I feel like there has, like Bradlee was saying, there has to be a balance, but there has to be some sense of perfect peace in this person, because I think that's what makes you attracted to them. So as we climb into relationships and like break things down, you want to grow, right? And through your expectations of growth, this process becomes, how can I make myself better? Because I'm going to change with my partner. I'm going to change. How can I grow to help myself? And you should have a partner who helps you want to grow, but then also is wanting to grow with themselves. Like,
Absolutely.
and you know, like we talked about being Leos, and we love ourselves and be prideful, and you know, we have this sense of like we love for ourselves, and it's nothing against anything else, but like, when you begin to love yourself, you love the growth process too behind it. And, you know, you want to see everybody grow around you. And so that change process in your partner becomes loving. Like, ooh, I love how you're growing. I love, and it's almost motivating, at least from my perspective. For me, it's motivating to see my partner wanting to do better for themselves, because then it motivates me to do better for myself. And now we're growing together. And it's like growing to that perfection piece, right? So, yeah.
I agree. And there's like, for me, there's this like a bottom line. Like, you know, there has to be some sort of established like traits in my partner. Like, you don't have to be perfect, but at the end of the day, like, you have to be somewhat evolved and like self-aware and accountable and just you know, relatable to all situations. You know, so that's just like personally like what I'm looking for. But I think in general, people have those expectations. Like, you know, you have a standard, you have a type. Do you guys have a type?
Absolutely.
Why not? Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
I think
You don't have to
I
drop
think
the type,
everybody
I'm
I
just
think
saying.
everybody truthfully has their type of, like, you know, our expectation of what we deem as beautiful. Like, this is absolutely beautiful. Do we ever get there? Who knows, right? But it's like you have that standard of beauty and the attributes that come with it. And when you usually find a partner, they touch some of those attributes, right? Like, damn, I love this about this person, and this person you meet is like, ooh, they got that. Ooh, hold up. Like, let me see what they talking about, right? And they might not be the image that you want, but they have those pieces that make you be like, man, fuck the image. That can change. Like, it's going to change. But they have all 5 of these things that I want right now. And so, yeah, we have our standard of beauty. We have everything that we want. But sometimes we don't get it, right? And it's like finding those that we can't get. What's up, Rob?
You're crying.
Stop. I'm built for this. What are you talking about? I am furthest thing from toxic.
Huh?
Man, why? Y'all are all horrible people sometimes. Behaviors. But what's wow, we're really doing that. The both of y'all. Okay.
Keep going.
I'll tell y'all one thing that I did, and then I'm just Anywho.
Whoa.
A couple of things that I did. Anywho, I just want to my last 2 cents on this is, like, the only thing I want to say is, one, I really appreciate, like, you know, Koss, Bradlee, Arthur, because really, like, you're saying things that people definitely need to hear when it comes to, because what people really don't want to talk about is their desire to have companionship. And that that yearning and needing for companionship is digested in the music that we listen to, is digested in, you know, what we see and the celebrities and things like that. And like people think it's like this easy thing. And this is why so much like having these conversations now, you know, our age range is from 23 to like 35, right? And like no one's really having those conversations, but we only see when we turn on social media, Russell Wilson and Sierra, and they happy. And everyone's like, yeah, I'm gonna be there for Halloween. And then once Halloween over, they acting like Future and, and who else? And fill in the blank, and because they think that's cool. And there's nothing wrong because you have that point in period with that, but it's almost kind of like you gonna get older, and then the party is gonna get a little different, and then you're gonna be like, time for me to pick something. And then, but I put that all by saying is we are so afraid to do the work. Like you getting that job, you have to do the work. Connecting with your family is doing that work. When you get into a wholesome relationship and things look right, that 20, 50 year plus marriage that we're adoring, that's work. You're going to wake up one day and be like, I fucking hate your guts, but I'm willing to sit in this room with you to make it work. And that's what is needed to be happening. And that's why I kind of wanted to bring up that Perel thing, because I think she is right. We put so much pressure and stress on our one person to do all these different things where like there are certain things of when I was in, you know, a relationship, not saying I didn't want to say my partner couldn't handle this, but like I got my friends, I'm gonna talk to my friends about this, or I'm gonna talk to my mom about this, or I'm gonna, you know, talk to my mentor about this, because my mentor serves a purpose that my partner can't, because my mentor, I'm trying to get somewhere in his career. Talking to my partner about this is just a venting session. And if you can't differentiate the two, you're putting all that stress on the person you go home to. And I'll just say this, because I really can't talk about therapy sessions I go through. I just know a lot of people come in, and as soon as they get off work, first thing when they step into the door, they're not saying I love you, I miss you, I fucking hate my job. And you get that 365, you're like, God damn, fucker, either leave the fucking job or it's a doormat for a reason. You leave that shit at the door and you go in, because your family, I promise you this, when you pass and go away, you know what's gonna happen? Your family's gonna be there. Your job, all the other things, they're gonna send you a card. They ain't gonna show up to that funeral. Your family gonna put you down there. So we have to differentiate and create these Venn diagrams and boundaries to separate that. But I just want to say that, and I appreciate all of you guys on here for, you know, what you do, what you say, because at the end of the day, we got to be the change that we want to see going forward. Because and also I got to say this: people have your whole phases, do all the different stuff, but like there comes a point in time where like
you gotta grow up, man.
You gotta grow up, like.
Gotta grow
up. You ain't gonna say this to your bros because your bros gonna laugh at you, but you really want to be at home boot up two nights out of the week. You want to do some fuck around shit and then have that one person who just fucking gets you when you walk in the door and there's a fucking, you know, fucking vanilla wafer and some ice water. And you're like, God damn it, this bitch gets me. You're just like, how does she know that? And that does something. But anywho, I'm gonna put the hit stuff down because I am burning, because I'm passionate. But anywho, Bradlee, Cos, Arthur, do y'all have anything else?
I think I kind of want to touch back into that just a little bit, just to wrap up. And I love how you said, man, when it's time to get into the house, you drop this shit at the door, right? Like, and putting that stress already when your partner probably going through the same stress, being able to clear your mind and just enjoy the space that y'all in. I think that's refreshing, right? Like, it's that fresh cup of ice water, right? You know, just, like, I know, like you said, my partner gets me. Like, I know it's been a long fucking day. How do we erase that? Man, you know what, fuck it, let's go hit a movie. Let's go take a drive. Let's go. And now those conversations happen. And now you're making those memories. Now you're like, let's really pop it. And it's heartwarming, right? Those are the ones that feel good, because you know it's been a long ass fucking day. Hey, here's a shot at right there. Take the shot. Let's take a shot back, right? Like, and you know, it's just a whole different vibe when they understand. And I respect that you said that, bro, because that hit me. Yeah, that hit me.
To close it off, I'll say thank you to Bradlee for coming and joining us.
Oh yeah,
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. It was a pleasure to have you on. And then, I don't know. I have nothing else to add after that.
My
If y'all don't
comments.
know, this is why I love this guy. He's like my little brother if I had one. This has been a Play No Games podcast / show, and we've had Bradlee's Ainsworth Go Do Become deposit season, and this has been bring it up here. All right.
There we go.
All right, he ain't repping no gang, but get the red. He got the blue. Anywho. And the black. Anywho, this has been a Play No Pot Game. Play No Games podcast / show. We out.
Peace.
Hater.
Probably wondering if I think of you. Sorry, I'm for the bag right now. Yeah, I'm for the bag right now. Yeah, for the bag that I never had. Yeah, you probably mad right now. Yeah, I got a 2-piece now. But shit, I think they call them groupies now.